the truth is, leaders come to me, they've been, most of them, extraordinarily successful, but all of a sudden that analogy of the glass ceiling comes into play. They're just, they're doubling down on what they've done before, and it's not really giving them the growth and development they wanted. They're noticing that they have particular issues in their personal and professional life that they just can't seem to move beyond. And that's generally when they call. It's they're up against challenges. And so in a lot of, it seems like to me the biggest problem that leaders have today is that they're looking outside of themselves for solutions uh, that really can only be resolved from looking within themselves.
Mm.
And so it's not uncommon for somebody to get on a discovery call with me, and something I've heard several times just in the last month is I've learned more about myself in 20 minutes than I did 20 years of therapy, and similar comments like that. And it's really just being comfortable enough, with myself to journey down into the depths of who they are, and and helping them to really become more self-aware. And so, it's it's once they recognize what their core issue is, and they recognize, oh, all of these outer challenges that I'm having are just a reflection of that core inner challenge that I haven't healed or dealt with, then they get really excited because it's like, oh, I can handle this. I can do something with this. I get to learn more about myself. I get to learn to grow. I can see how it's going to affect my organization. And so they we just go on this journey. I'm basically nothing more than a guide on a journey that I'm intimately familiar with. And as I guide them along that path, and they begin to understand their limiting beliefs and mindsets that don't, might have served them quite well in the past, but no longer support and serve their new visions. As they begin to recognize that they to be accepted and loved when they were a child required them to leave a lot of who and what they were behind. And so now, as they want to continue to grow, they begin to recognize, oh, I need all of those parts of myself. In fact, it's reconnecting and integrating those parts into myself that's going to allow me to become whole again. And that wholeness allows me to be confident and become the authentic person that I need to be, to even have the ideas and the way to develop the conscious organization, the successful levels that I want to reach.
And so you
So
find that this process is really kind of the key to having a clear vision of what needs to be achieved in the future, and being more authentic as a leader.
absolutely, absolutely, it just can't. I really have looked. Is there an easier, safer, whatever? Yeah, no, I think it is the key. You just I know in terms of neurologically, you just can't access the level of thinking you need for the rapidly changing and increased complexity of today's business world. You have to have a quiet mind. And that, we're only aware of about 5 or 10% of our thoughts. And it's that other 90% of our subconscious thoughts that sort of bats out of the way any intentions or, desires that we might have. And those subconscious thoughts come from all of the unhealed aspects of ourselves that we've just ignored or negated and stayed away from. And, it's like one of my mentors, Joseph Campbell, said, you've got to enter I can't ever get this right, but you've got to enter the cave that you fear to enter to find that treasure that you seek. And that treasure that you're seeking, of course, is yourself, that unconditional love that every child wants. And it's in accepting and bringing that into your life that that subconscious mind becomes quieter. All of a sudden, that right brain, which is a much more spatially aware, spontaneous, emotionally oriented aspect of our brain, comes into play. A lot of leaders, as a child, they got so I see it, and I deal with people from all over the world, but they got support and connection and love from being smart, and they are very smart. And so it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll play that one up. And that got me into
Right.
the right school, that got me into the right job. But now all of a sudden that's not enough. And that's where I come into play, is helping them reconnect and really access the more of who and what they are that they need so that they can continue to evolve and grow into the conscious leader that they need to be.